Hi, this is the team Powerfuels.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you? Sorry for the late call.
It's alright.
Okay. So before we start, is it okay if I record this conversation for the competition?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Nitish Rajagopal, and we're part of the Powerfuels team. So I was wondering if you can tell me a little bit about yourself and where you work.
So I'm a chemical/environmental engineer. I went to school at the University of South Florida for my undergrad, got my PhD at the University of Tennessee, working then on cellulosic ethanol, working with the bacteria, trying to make it stronger so that we can produce ethanol at a rate from, switchgrass and popular trees, close to that what we can do with yeast.
Right.
After that, I moved on to Argonne National Lab, where I started working on anaerobic digestion, trying to take organic waste, both sewage sludge and food waste, and turn that into renewable natural gas.
Yeah.
After I left Argonne, about 2 years ago, I started my own consulting firm, Nullam Consulting, looking at optimizing other people's anaerobic digesters. And since then, I have started working full-time with one of my clients, Mendota Agro Products.
Okay, that's perfect. So our team, one of our main things that our team is doing is to take the organic waste and turn it into fuel and electricity. So we're wondering if you can tell us a little about like the basics and how anaerobic digesting works.
So yeah, anaerobic digestion is nothing new. We've known about this for a very long time. We just don't view it in a way that Europe does. We use it as a method to get rid of waste instead of using it in order to create electricity. So most of the time when you find an anaerobic digester, you're looking at like a wastewater treatment plant or a dairy farm or something of that nature. And it's a waste management system. And with that, most of the time they just burn off the gas and they don't utilize it for anything. But more and more frequently, we're starting to take those digesters and turn them into an energy generation facility. And one of the ways that we're making this better and more economical is by including food waste and other types of co-processing in order to create more gas that is at a quality that we can then use in a generator.
Okay, thank you. Would you think that anaerobic digestion system would be capable or like a good choice for reprocessing school waste or for powering it?
It kind of depends about the size of your school and how much food waste you generate versus how much electricity you have. Right. It is a little difficult to run a digester consistently at a school just because you have a summer season where no one's there.
Right. Okay. So where would anaerobic digestion systems be usually like in place of? Like I know there's few in Europe.
Right. So typically when you have an anaerobic digester, you have it in a place where you have a consistent source of waste going into the digester.
Right.
So we have one here. The goal of Mendota Agro Products is to take in grease waste and they process that and sell that to a biodiesel facility. And they, in that process, create wastewater. And that wastewater is then run through an anaerobic digester to get out the remaining organic material. Other places are manufacturing facilities, your food processing facilities. They might have an anaerobic digester, But even then, it's still to clean up their wastewater before they send it off to the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay. And how efficient are like these systems?
Efficient in terms of
like electricity production and like fuel.
So typically, it depends on the type of food waste you're feeding into the digester, and you can get out, 50 to 75% methane. The rest of it CO2 with a bit of trace contaminants, hydrogen sulfide, siloxanes, ammonia, and things of that nature, which typically have to be removed before you can burn the gas in a generator. And then the volume of gas that you get is dependent on the volume and type of material that you're adding into your digester. So there's some wastes that are more easy to degrade,
right.
Which produces more gas than other waste.
Okay, so what would the final like products of the anaerobic digestive system be?
So I mean, you have a gas that comes out of it, and then you also have, a liquid that will come out of it as well. And so that can be used sometimes as fertilizers if you're interested in utilizing it. Or, that can be sent to the wastewater treatment plant, depending on the volume, with special permitting.
Okay, and would you say there are any negatives to this system?
Not necessarily. They're not always economical, and that's why it's difficult to get them installed. There typically has to be some sort of incentive in place for a facility to run an anaerobic digester, or some sort of regulatory barrier that's forcing them to do something different with their waste. So for a lot of the manufacturing food processing facilities, they can't send their waste as it is to the wastewater treatment plant. And it's cheaper for them to run an anaerobic digester than to pay the surcharge fees for the waste that they produce. They have to pre-treat it. But still, it's more or less a cost for them.
Okay.
There has been a few larger companies that do have anaerobic digesters as their core business. I've wrote a paper about them. I can send that to you.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, actually.
Okay. I'll send you to my colleague at Argonne. She wrote one on wastewater treatment plants and the size and number of anaerobic digesters they have, and I did one more on the food waste side, so I can send you both of those to give you some background.
Sure. Thank you so much. Honestly, I think that's all the questions I have. Do you have any questions for our team Powerfuels or the Lexus Eco competition?
Yeah, I mean, Zach told me a little bit about the competition, but I would love to hear more about what you're trying to do.
Sure. So basically, we're a team from Jericho High School called the Powerfuels, and we're competing in this competition called the Lexus Eco Challenge. There's 2 phases to this challenge, where the first part is something where we would have to help the air and climate and find a better way to do so. So originally, when we worked with Zach at Loyola, we were thinking about biodiesel, and the competition seemed to like our idea, and we won the first phase, and that allowed us to move on to the second phase. So right now we are working with biofuels, and we have to create a presentation, educate others, and just spread awareness. That's why we took the picture of the poster with you. Thank you again for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's basically what our team is trying to do.
And so if you win this competition, then what would you get out of it?
Well, the first phase, we actually won $10,000, and if we win this one, we either win $15,000 or we would win a grand prize of $30,000.
And what would you do with the money?
Honestly, we're actually thinking that some of the money we would donate to the environmental charity, and some of it is donated to our school and teacher, and the rest I guess we would get to keep for our own uses.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much for your time and for partnering with our team.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, I started doing environmental things in high school as well, and it took me a while to get on this path, but it's definitely something very interesting, and it's going to become more and more necessary. So
right.
I'm excited that people in high school are already thinking about this.
Yeah, me, us too, and yeah, I guess that's all. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll send you those papers here in a minute.
Sure.
And let you read through them, give you a little bit better idea, and there's some tables and figures in there that might be good for your presentation too.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay.